Good morning. I am calling to order the Town of Selma Special Tourism Advisory Board meeting for September 5th, 2024 at 9 a.m. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I second.
Motion approved. Okay, jumping right into number 4, discussions and presentations. First discussion is the marketing discussion.
So you guys have a packet in front of you, and I'm gonna skip to the spreadsheet. So under the marketing discussion today, as you know, the committee has been tasked with decreasing the amount we spend on billboards. We've gone back and forth a few times. We have found out some information from the Visitors Bureau regarding the suggestion that was made at the last committee meeting about a possible subleasing of the boards. And technically, we are not able to do that. So we're gonna cross that option out. But I need to get a feel from the committee as to exactly how we want to proceed. Christina has shared a little bit, so I think I'm able to share some of that with you, and I've had some conversations with the Visitors Bureau. So I'd like to get your consensus on how to proceed. The reason I printed this spreadsheet was just to give you the pricing for the boards. At the top, you'll see the breakdowns. So in talking with the Visitors Bureau about the boards that we currently have, I want to know if the committee feels strongly about keeping or getting rid of the 95 boards. And I think that that's like the overall decision that we need to make, and that will kind of base it on our options that we go forward with. And I did print out some information that's stapled to the back of the spreadsheet. That's actually some placer information that they provided for us. Right now, we have 2 southbound billboards. So that's, you know, the northern states coming down. And right now, our New York area is the second highest area that is shown to visit our location. So like I said, we have 2 billboards that they would see coming down 95. We do not have anything northbound. So coming from Florida, and as you can tell, that area is a lesser amount. And this was pulled a few months ago. But I did that to show you the kind of traffic that we were showing at the time. So the suggestion has been made that we look at a temporary option to satisfy the task that's been given to us. We are currently on a Princeton digital board and a Wilson's Mills digital billboard. And this is where I'd like to know if how the committee feels about the digital billboards versus the 95 billboards. It has been shared with us that we are currently paying $735 and $700 for the 295 billboards, each billboard.
Is that for the whole year?
No, that's per month.
Per month.
So we are paying that. However, if we were to get rid of those boards, and in the off chance that those boards were available, which I doubt they will be because they're a hot commodity, those billboards would be worth probably $1,000 or more to get those same billboards back. So right now we're locked in at that rate. So if you think about that and we were to change our mind after we got rid of the billboards, then we would be paying even more when we went back. In the past, Selma has had more billboards than we do right now on 95, but due to construction and other reasons, they were removed. So it was suggested that we could come off of either one or both of the digital billboards, Princeton and Wilson's Mills, to save us some money. Each of those billboards are $725 a month. So one board would save $8,700 for a 12-month period, and 2 would save $17,400 for a 12-month period. Those boards would be I feel they would be easier to jump back on down the road if we felt like we needed to.
The digital billboards.
The digital billboards
Yeah.
versus a 95 billboard, because there's really not any real estate available when it comes to the billboards on 95 right now. And I do know that there's some discussions about some different billboards, possibly. I don't know what the availability looks like for those. I don't even know the timeline, but in a different area of town and accessing town. So that might even be something that the committee wants to look into going forward. But I'd like to know the consensus of the group when we talk about the temporary digital billboard option versus making a long-term commitment to get rid of a 95 billboard option. We do have it budgeted in the money to replace the vinyls for the 95, so we can give them a new look. We can discuss, what to put on them. Right now, they both have exit 97. We can kind of discuss those options, but if we were to pull off of only one of the billboards, the suggestion was Princeton because the Wilson's Mills has more traffic, and I'm gonna let Ms. Dawn Beth Taylor chime in on this because she's been great.
I did just want to go over the contract end dates for you. So the Wilson's Mills Digital Board contract doesn't end till June of 25.
Okay.
June 26, 25. The Princeton Billboard actually ends next week, which is September 12th. So that would be the easiest and quickest one to come off of. The hotel billboard up around Rocky Mount area ends October 31st, 24, which is coming up this year, as well as your downtown exit 106 shop downtown board ends October 31st. So your two billboards on 95, their contracts are up October 31st. The small board we have at exit 98, that's we consider our directional board that turns you into downtown when you get off exit 98, that ends October 25. And normally when we contract billboards, we do a 3-year term. I would say, that just keeps us connected to our rate, and Interstate Billboards does not go up on our rate when we renew, unless he has some other kind of situation with the landowner where he leases. If his rates go up, then sometimes we get a small increase, but very rarely do we get a big increase on our billboard contracts. We just wanted to give you those dates.
Thank you. I did know the Princeton one, but I'm glad you mentioned
The Wilson's Mills is not till next year.
Okay. So with that being said, we could make the decision, the committee could make the decision to come off of the Princeton billboard, which would give us an instant, basically, savings of $725 a month. And then if we decided we wanted to pull off of the Wilson's Mills billboard as of next June of 2025, we could do that. It has been discussed that we could actually take a little bit of those funds and put them into the Catch Me Eye board on a temporary basis. I've spoken with Warren with Interstate on the pricing for that. And if we were to decide to pull off of one or both billboards and decided to do something on that board for a maybe it's Railroad Days, maybe it's the month of September that we could hop on or something like that. Even maybe a quarterly decision to hop on to that, we would still see a significant amount of savings, with pulling off of those 70 billboards. If you look at the placer information based on that time period, there was already a lot of visiting areas from around Selma and especially Wake County. So maybe, I don't know that our presence on those billboards is driving that traffic. Maybe it's just an already driven, attraction, or a stop. So, again, it's the committee's decision. If you want to make a decision to pull off of one of those 95 billboards, we can take the group's consensus to council. If you want to decide to pull off the Princeton billboard, which is our quickest option to decrease that cost, we can decide to go in and do that as of next week. So I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave the discussion up to you guys, and then whatever you decide to recommend.
I suggest we just pull off the Princeton one right now, people 295, and see, and that will have some monies increased. And then we'll wait and see how the other one works. So we have time before the other.
So the two on 95 they renew next October?
This-
Oh, this October.
that's a-
Okay. So if we were to keep those, how long does it take to get new vinyls? Like say, for it to say exit 98 instead of 97?
That's a design process with Eric and the committee.
Okay.
Once the design's approved, a couple of weeks to get it out.
Okay.
So it has been discussed about, utilizing, maybe we utilize one of the boards for 97, one for 98. Our exit 97 is our hotel stay
Oh, right.
exit.
Yeah.
And the one in Rocky Mount's about an hour away. Is that right? 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And in talking to the Visitors Bureau, people, when they're deciding to stay somewhere or look like that, they do try to decide that about
An hour ahead.
so maybe exit 97 could be, on that Rocky
Yeah.
Mount billboard, and then maybe a historic downtown, something, you know,
Yeah.
if there's a driven shop in Selma, or, you know, maybe it's not just downtown, maybe it's just an all over shopping, whatever.
So that would be at mile marker 106.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is good for people just like saying stop to
Yeah.
eat or get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 10 miles.
Right.
And
right.
technically, it could be, I guess, a combination of the 97 and 98 for that one.
Yeah, that's design.
Yeah. But the main thing is, you know, we've got to kind of get word to council as to what our plan of action would be. And it sounds like the Princeton one would be the quickest option.
Yeah.
But if the committee feels strongly about coming off of one of the 95 billboards, then we would, you know, look at that too. We just want to make sure that we get the committee's consensus to take it.
Well, let me add a couple of thoughts to the discussion. We have to get people into Selma. So we have two billboards on 95 and we have two billboards in the local off 95 area. Those two do not bring anybody into Selma that are travelers. You have to get off of 95 to see those. So the two most important billboards or ways of getting people off of 95 are the billboards that we currently have on 95, which I think we're down 5 billboards from what we had when times were good. And I know we're working with a limited amount of funds now compared to how we were in the past when we had 7 billboards and all the other kinds of advertising that was being done. So we got to get them off 95, and if we have to give up the 2 local billboards, the Princeton area one sounds most likely. If we have to give up a second billboard for some other reason, the Wilson's Mills billboard would probably be the most likely candidate. I drive that way, Wilson's Mills, all the time, and I don't know, maybe it's because I see the billboard so often, but I just, you know, it doesn't draw my attention.
That's my favorite billboard.
Well, with all the construction and everything, you really have to concentrate on
gonna get
keeping your
better.
eyes
It's gonna
on
get
the
better.
road, and that might have something to do with it. So anything that we can do to keep our presence on 95 for the purpose of getting people off of 95, I think is the way to go.
And we also, like I said, we've had the discussions already with Adventure in regards to Eastfield. So, you know, those box stores, when they put their billboards on 95 or whatever they're gonna do, when they do their marketing, you know, they're gonna draw some folks off of 95. So at that point, we may be able to look into some connection from Eastfield to the rest of Selma.
Yeah.
So that if they're already being drawn off of 95, how do we get them from there, you know, to explore the rest of Selma? So if that, you know, I'm gonna let you handle this recommendation, but we'll need an official recommendation for that. So, I'll let you handle, if that is the consensus of the group, to make the decision to come off with the Princeton board to save, yep.
Not
So
to
do we
on
need to,
95.
do we need to make a motion? Just, it's just a
The motion
recommendation.
to recommend it to council.
That motion would be the easiest thing to construct, bring to council's recommendation. We just have a general consensus.
Okay, so we're at general.
Pull the one in Princeton and then, and keep the 95.
And the one with the meals, we're keeping that one right now.
Right. That expires, Wilson Mills expires July 25? June 25. Yeah.
Catch me out, yeah.
Yeah.
Even, especially for like Railroad Day or something, just to
Yeah.
grab some, folks, or maybe a quarterly initiative or something. I was gonna see if we could talk about that, just so they know.
Okay, so the group has made a consensus to pull the Princeton billboard, which is set to expire September 12th, 2024. And I'm confused on what we said. And keep the two on 95 until next year, and then we'll rediscuss it. So, okay.
And then we'll go on and look into replacing the vinyls on both
And
of those.
replace the vinyls.
And I'll second the motion.
Do I have a second? Okay. Thank you.
Oh,
We did.
sorry,
We made a motion.
it was recorded.
Yes. He made a motion, I second.
Okay. All right, let's put this one to rest. Let's move on to Railroad Days.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
One of our projects we've been talking to Nikki about is a downtown map. And I just kind of brought a concept for you guys to look at. It's something that we've done for the town of Benson. It's 11 by 17. One side of your map could be downtown and the other side could be exit 97, and it would be at all the hotels, it'd be all of the retail locations, and it's something that's like a little tear off that you could hand out. The bigger project is the big visitor's guide for the whole town, which is a bigger, gatefolded, stapled kind of thing that would go to welcome centers and other requests for visitor information. This is something, what we call an in-market piece that would help promote all the businesses in the area. So if they're at one location and you say, well, if you're looking for this, go down to so-and-so's, they're right down the street. And this is not a final design by any means, because Eric would have to move all these little icons. When you pull them out of our system, they kind of end up on streets and they kind of jumble up. So he would line those up. But I can give you this as a concept to see if this is something the committee would like us to complete the design on and get it to your businesses.
That would be great. I think Eric brought the sample of
Yeah.
the other, not ours, but the sample of the other one.
This is Selma Businesses.
Awesome.
And the legend is not everybody, because again, he has to do the type and lay it out.
I was actually gonna ask, whoever came today, how he needed that, information, like what format he needed the directory information that we've got for downtown.
Well, you can give us an Excel sheet. What we have to do to get all the businesses that you want on this map is to put it into our CRM with Simple View. Simple View is something that we use to pull content out of and create this map. Already on your website, visit selma.org, there's an electronic version of this. So that will match. When you give me all the other businesses, they will also go on that electronic version. So somebody on your website, who is clicking around and, walking around, this all connects to Google Maps. So that QR code, if you're walking around, an option is like, well, where is this business? It'll open up that business, give you information about the business, as well as connect you to Google Maps to either, if you're up the road and you say, well, I really want to stop at the vault, for example, it's like, oh, I want to stop there. It'll give you the driving directions to your businesses.
Let me see places to eat.
Yeah, that's not everything. This is just a concept until we get everything that
So,
you guys want to put on the map.
Okay.
so when you actually, a tear off, are these easy to revise? Cause businesses are always changing.
Yes, I don't say we would do like a really big run of
Right,
these, maybe
right.
just
'Cause I
enough
already
for
know
every business to have a
I already
couple
know
of,
of 2 or 3 more that are coming to
Right.
downtown Selma. That
Right.
will probably be the first of the year.
right, yeah, I would say either do a small run so you don't have a lot that get outdated. Of course, the digital one gets,
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how much per book, like one book could run us for print?
Trying to remember what we paid for Benson's. It was around $1,000. It's not a tremendous amount, but they ran some for some events they were doing over at Campbell and some other runs that they used them for, and we had a big softball tournament come in. So the first run did multiple things for Benson, so
I know that when Eric brought the first one, the committee thought it would be a great idea for Railroad Days if we were able to get that done, and would that be possible?
depends on when you get me the list.
That would be
I've been doing-
wonderful.
I've been doing my riding around, so, I'll send you what I got. I'll check.
And usually these are visitor-facing businesses, we don't put hairdressers and
Right.
barber
Even
shops
the
and,
train station, the train depot would be
Oh,
a
yeah,
good
the-
one to have.
yeah, that's the
think
things
it's
to
on there.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's on there. The
Yeah.
farther you go out and when you get up, you see the park, that spreads out your map. If you wanted to do, the businesses on the Main Street corridor kind of thing, it would be much more dialed into that area. But the map will be based on how far these things are apart from each other.
and we have budgeted money in our budget for, digital info directory and directional signs. That could come from that line item.
Yeah, and you'll have more money when you drop a billboard, so.
True. So what if we did a run, I just said the park, are you talking about Bragg Wilson?
Right, so
Okay.
the farther away from the downtown area, you're gonna have a broader,
What if we do a
Photo.
more zoomed in, especially if we're trying to focus on a Railroad Days production for people to hand out for the.
you can do any custom map out of our system that you want. If you want a Railroad Days map, I can pull that.
Well, maybe just a downtown shop, like I would say downtown, but like some of your, places to eat out, not just here, but I don't know that going to the park.
For Railroad Days, would
Yeah, but more of the attraction areas, around here.
like from the Rudy to the railroad.
Well, I mean, even with the
Like-
food hall, I mean, the food hall being but people that may not want to eat here, but it's close enough to go if they want to come back and do something, to me, I don't know if that.
Well, it's a two-sided piece for Railroad Days. It could be custom to, one side's a map, the other side's why you're in town. You can put anything you want on the back. Yeah. Okay.
I'll get that information, my spreadsheet that I've been going around and kind of confirming a few things.
Okay.
And,
Oh, I like this, the QR code as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll get it because, our printer may have cut off the edge of that QR code, but yeah, again, that's just the concept at this point.
It's really nice.
Thank you.
Really nice.
Nope.
I got as far as Bitly, and that's it.
well, we'll try to get this in now,
Good.
and, I'll send my list so because I think that would be a good thing
Me too.
for Railroad Days. And like she mentioned, the electronic version would be available online too, so.
Any of your signage for Railroad Days, QR codes, things to do,
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. That's awesome. All right, anybody else for marketing portion? Okay, so we're gonna hop into rower days, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm fully engulfed in that at the moment. So I'm gonna make it short and sweet, but if anybody has any extra time within this month that they'd like to help, I would gladly take that. Whether it's distributing information to downtown businesses or, just some overall assistance. However, what I did print you off, that spreadsheet on the top, is basically a breakdown of all the event staffing, times, days and times, and what it consists of. You'll see that like the town booth, and you see finance beside that, that just means that finance is overseeing the time slots for booking that. It's that one, Ms. Rosen, it's the one on top.
Thank you.
So those are just the folks that are booking those time slots for that. So if you're like, hey, I want to be a part of this, or I want to volunteer for this, or I want to be a part here, then I would love to be able to let them know. We would like some assistance with like the main stage and the community stage, just to be able to say, well, Ms. Rose's gonna be at the community stage from this time to this time, to make sure that the groups are there and that they're on time, as far as getting on stage. We could also use some introduction assistance at different times. So if that's something that you're interested in, then I would definitely let me know. What I would like for you to do is take a look at this. I know that you guys already have your own schedules, so I know that, it may be hard to step away from that, but if you are available, even if it's downtown trash pickup after an event, our town employees stretch themselves pretty thin when it comes to this, just because of the length of time of the event. So any additional help we can get is going to be great. We've already had some volunteers reach out outside of the town, and that's kind of why I went ahead and did this full list, so that I can let them know where the volunteers, it's a little harder for them to hop on and coordinate something at the community stage or the main stage, just because they've not been a part of the discussions leading up to that. But a few areas where we can have some, maybe it's vendor setup assistance and breakdown, and even the trash cleanup afterwards, that kind of thing, where we can have some volunteers. So I'm gonna let them know of the times of those items, so that maybe they can schedule to have some folks here. But if there is some times that you guys would like to sign up for, or you're available to help with, if you want to go through this and kind of note it, if you need to take a moment and look at it and get it back to me afterwards, that's fine too. You can send it to me or drop it off, either way. But anytime that you might be available to help, that way as I'm scheduling this, we can have those slots filled. The next one is just a timeline of the full weekend. It's got our preliminary events listed above. This is a tentative. This is pretty much everything me sitting down and saying, okay, this starts here, this ends here, this person performs here. Just to give you an idea, we'll have a final. We had our first department meeting regarding their timing yesterday, so I'll have more of a final once I go in and revise that a little bit. But just to give you an idea of our timelines, when things are going to start, when things are going to end. I do have a downtown business newsletter, so that everybody knows when parking is going to be limited, where that's going to be cut off, when it's going to be cut off. We're going to get that out. I'm trying to get that out either tomorrow or Monday to all of our downtown businesses. I want to be as transparent as possible when it comes to, hey, this is going to start this time. We're closing this street off at this time. The parade's coming through here. You can't park there, that kind of thing. Just want to get that information out way ahead of time, so everybody has that. And that's kind of the thing I mentioned about if you have time to help, distribute some information or whatever, just let me know. And then this is just an updated map. This adds the restroom that we talked about at the corner of East Anderson and North Webb Street. Is there any questions so far when it comes to this?
I have a question about the volunteering. So it's going to be 3 days. I can do one day. and I'll do Friday.
Okay,
You just tell me what you would like for me to do
okay.
for Friday.
I'm gonna put you down for Friday. Is this anytime Friday or is this Friday evening?
Let me see, so it starts at what time? On Friday?
The events actually start at 5. They'll go 5 to 9 Friday night. But we will do setup and other things during the day. So you just tell me what times.
Anytime after 12.
After 12, okay,
If you, whatever you need for me to do or like for me to do
okay,
on Friday,
all
a
right,
couple of hours, 2 to 3 hours.
Okay.
I can do it on Friday.
okay, perfect. So what I'll do is once I find everybody's, availability, then I'll kind of go in and put them in places, if that sounds okay. Thank you for that.
I can help with the community stage.
Okay.
For, Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
And we'll help with the trash. I'll make my husband.
Thanks, Scott. You said Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just making notes of this. And if you find out you're available or something changes or whatever, just let me know. But, we appreciate all the help that we can get when it comes to that. Our employees do too, so. And then, any other questions in regards to?
You said you needed help with distributing literature, some of the paper, the things.
Yes,
And how is that done?
that by walking and talking. I usually try to go visit them and I love to try to get into the businesses at least as often as possible, personally. So I'm trying to get into all of them, but I would love to be able to distribute some of our posters to Blackstone Plaza, to the food hall, to, just Dwayne, so some of our surrounding area, attractions as well, so that we do expand that, to, the food line, Johnson, is it still Johnson?
I know
Tractor
what
Supply.
you're talking
So you like those areas, I wanna make sure that we get the word out to those areas too, so taking some posters around, would be very helpful.
I know Dwayne's will only hang the poster in their lunchroom.
But they are a sponsor, so I wonder if they consider putting one somewhere, maybe just for the week of or something
Yeah,
like that.
because when I brought him for the wine walk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I can talk with Tina. I know they do, I know. Okay, well that, I think that pretty much, I had one more sponsor hop on yesterday, so I had not pulled the trigger on the window posters. So those should, hopefully, they may actually be done tomorrow. So anybody that might be available that wants to kind of take an area and take those around, that would be great.
I would take posters to is it the Blackstone where Dollar General, the area? I don't live very far from there, and I shop there all the time.
Okay,
So
okay.
I'll take some posters,
Okay.
and whatever you need, take them there to that area.
I know Riccabini is one of our sponsors too, so maybe if we could
I'll drop it off.
get one to over there, that would be
Yeah.
great too.
I would do that.
Okay, perfect.
How many, floats do we have this year in the parade? Our
We,
participants?
we are slowly getting those folks in. A lot of times they wait till the week before. So that was one of my other things that I wanted to mention. We'd like to reach out and try to get share that post, try to reach out to your businesses that you know, any groups that you know that might be interested. We've had a few folks interested in the nonprofit informational booths, like I mentioned before. The parade might actually be a good option for them to participate in the festival, since we've kind of nodded towards not having it, like the informational booth set up unless they're a sponsor. So if that would even be a good thing for the nonprofit, and nonprofits and individuals, they are free to enter the parade. Businesses are only $25, so if we can get the word out for that to start getting those registrations in. That would be great because that lineup takes some time prior to the actual event. So, but yeah, that would be ideal. Any other questions? Like I said, I'm engulfed in it, and it's taken a lot. We had a lot of interest in the vendor applications, so I'm still going through those. Right now, I think we're at close to 30. I think we're at 30. So we're having to cut off those, and I think we've done a good job at being very selective to make sure that all the vendors that do show up are benefited by being like only one kind of vendor. So, and I'm sure there'll be more information that comes via email for this. But if you see that you might have some time to do some posters, if you know that you're headed to an area in the next couple days, and you're like, hey, let me stop by and grab some stuff, I'll make it where everybody knows where the stuff is in the town hall building. So if you want to stop by and grab that, great. Anything else for Rolodex questions? Let's see. Wayfinding. We're gonna hop over to that because I know that this has been a task that we have been given as well. NCDOT has actually tasked us with an overall plan for wayfinding. So if you look at your map packet, that's just a snippet of the full Selma. I zoomed in on several of our main entrance areas, like the 7301, exit 98, Buffalo Road, and the 9639-301. So those are like our main entry points to the town. The only one that we have pretty well covered right now is the 7301 access. We do have some of our exit 97 taken care of. That sign between the bridge and Dwayne's, or no, between the stoplight and La Quinta, that one should be gone back up if it hasn't already. They had to pour the new footing for that, or footer for that. So these little blue dots are the points represent where there already is a sign. And as we look at this, I kind of want you guys to take it and kind of mark it up as to where you think we need to put something. I know that it was actually mentioned maybe about looking into a green sign going at the end of the exit 98 northbound ramp. Northbound, did I say that right? Exit 98, when you come northbound and you go around the circle, there's nothing right there in front of you. The other one has the exit 98 billboard, but that's the south, no.
Exit 98, you know, around the circle?
When you come, it's northbound.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
okay.
But right now, when you come off of 95,
Yep.
and you're sitting there, you're either gonna go to the left Pine
Right.
Level or to the right to Selma,
Right.
and you can't see
That's
that
good.
other billboard.
Yes,
So right now, there's nothing
that's
there.
perfect.
And
like
so
that
maybe
idea.
something going there that actually just says like Selma or something. And then we know that as you're riding from there to the railroad tracks, you kind of don't know if you're headed in the right direction or not. So maybe there's something in between there too. But that's kind of what I want you to take these and look at. We do not have any 3996-301 where all of that comes together. We have nothing there. And then if you think about how much traffic comes off of Buffalo Road, we have nothing there. So I do think that maybe taking this, there is one right now you'll see noted that's in the IGA parking lot, and that's where this one, the picture of this is. The other task is to decide on a relocation point for this sign, only because its placement it's recently received a hit. So we're gonna move that because it is kind of in the middle of the parking lot area. So
That can be a challenging parking lot to begin with.
yeah, so we have been tasked with relocating that sign. If you think that we would benefit more by moving that sign to another point of entry, whether it's the 96 that comes up, to the stoplight. I don't know, and Ms. Donna may have a suggestion for that one sign.
That's right, I guess what DOT really wants is like a programming plan. Like when you come up in here, what do you want to?
Yeah. Yeah, Jason Brandt, he met with me and he said it doesn't have to be exact. He's like, but we just need something that says, eventually we want to put signage here and here, here and here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that way they can kind of just get a full overview of the wayfinding, system for cell phone, instead of just the one phase at a time. So, but we do want to relocate that one sign so that it doesn't interfere with the parking lot there and receive any other damages. We do not have anything facing the 39301. What we do have right now coming from Smithfield into Selma is up there at the Catch Me Eye area, and like the Ricks Road right there at the Stancils, to kind of turn you right. So, is there an area that might stand out to you guys as far as relocating that one sign that we could discuss? And we do have funding to do more wayfinding signs this year. So I think that we just need to decide what area might be most important, and maybe that's where we relocate that sign to.
So
To add to it.
relocating it as it is now with Rudy Theater and Civic Center?
No,
Or
we-
with new?
We can
Design.
redo the sign front on that.
When you come off of 70, Selma exit, when you're going eastbound, and you come up to the town welcome sign, maybe right past the welcome sign, where that car lot is on the corner.
That's where we just put one. If you looked at, I did not put the spots on the full map.
Oh, I see.
If you look at the zoomed in portion, I was able to place them a little bit better, but we did just put one there. It is actually right there at the welcome sign.
Okay.
So it's a little bit, but that area is a
Yeah.
little tricky because it's got
Right,
that guardrail,
okay, yeah,
before you get to it. And if you put it too close to the intersection, it was blocking
Yeah.
some of the other, important highway signs.
Right, no, you don't do that.
So yes, there is one there and there is one in front of Tractor Supply.
Mhm.
Those are the two newest signs that we've
Well,
added.
What about coming from the fast food area on 70? You're going over the overpass toward 301 where Parrish is over here on this side.
Yes.
There's still, the pole is still there. There's a 4x, or might be a 6x6 pole that's still there that did have a sign for directing.
There's
to the
one by
up-down
the
area.
Hardys. There's one by the Hardys coming from the bridge, towards 301, and there's one across from Bojangles going towards 95.
Yeah, but when you get over to coming,
Like the
going
n- the food
west,
hall?
go over to, no, I'm talking about when you come, from, say, McDonald's or Bojangles,
Oh.
and you're coming toward 301 and you're going over to overpass, and your Parish Funeral Home is over here on the right side.
I see what you're
There's
saying.
really nothing there. Of course, they've done a lot of digging up and
Digging,
everything
yeah.
right there recently, but when they're done with that, there's really nothing
I
there
see what you're
to
saying.
catch the traffic that is on that road, because
That sits at that light.
yeah, you sit at that light, you have that 60-second billboard over here on the left side over there, but there's really nothing on the right side, a sign or anything to turn people to the right to come into uptown Selma.
Okay,
Absolutely.
all right. That's a good thought. I made
It
that
is.
note on here.
That would probably be the most important one.
Okay. All right.
I'd rank that at 10 out of 10.
That would be great. Okay.
Yeah.
be some good information to have too.
Yeah.
Okay, if you guys wanna take, this is your homework, between this and the Railroad Days list, if you wanna take the maps with you and do that. This is important because we have it budgeted. It does take some time to get the wayfinding signs produced and installed. So to be able to maximize the usage of them, we'd like to get the information as quickly as possible. So if you wanna take this, I did go ahead and note that suggestion from Mr. Albert. And I feel like we need something at the end of the exit 98.
Definitely.
Just to give that, so whether that's a wayfinding or whether it's a green town sign, then, I think that's definitely an important location.
There are two poles that have been sitting there for years. There's two 4x4 poles when you come off of exit 98 and you come to, Anderson Street there. There's two white poles that held a sign there for years that the town put up. It was for a 4x8 size sign, but it had everything you needed to know on that sign. So all you need is a board to attach to those two poles, because that sign, the town did have, information on that in the past.
Okay, I'll look into that one too, because I'm not aware of that, but I'll definitely go check that out. Okay. All right, and then, like I said, the Buffalo Road, that's where the Oak Street and the Noble Street, come into town, so I don't know if there's anything, that you guys wanna look at out there. And then again, the 301, and it doesn't have to be out there at those areas, it can be further in, but I think just thinking of the main roads and how they come in, how 96 kind of comes around the school, like, is there areas that you guys, when you're sitting at, hey, you have to turn right, you have to know to turn right to get here, or you have to know to turn left to get here. People that would be visiting or would be driving through would not normally know that. So, just take this, if you guys wanna take a field trip around and see for yourself and do that, but, hopefully this will be helpful in the planning part of that. So, maybe if we can have this back at the next meeting would be really good. I'm trying to keep this going while I know, after Railroad Days, we'll be able to finalize some things, but I'm trying to at least keep the discussion and the planning portion going for that. Ms. Donna, did I miss anything for wayfinding?
I would love to see you do your gateways.
I think that's in the plans. I think that's already in the works. I don't know if appearance is done. Somebody has already looked into getting that processed. So it may be pretty soon from what I understand. So, I'm excited about that too.
Because the same company does design build.
Okay. Yeah, I knew that, I thought they did, but I've not been a part of that part. So hopefully we'll have some.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anybody have any? Anybody have anything else? I've got plenty of homework, so I'll be making sure that I get some stuff over. But, again, if you guys have any time that you want to text me or call me and say, hey, I'm free today for some time, what do you need? I would love that.
Yes.
I would love that. But otherwise, I think we're gonna for right now. Unless you guys have something else.
Yeah, okay, I make an motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
I'll say.
To adjourn. Then do we go?